Are you good with patience? But it's really frustrating when people drop off care, especially when insurance starts running out. This is Chen Yen, your host today for your Chiropractor Secure Show. This is a 6 and 7 figure practice makeover mentor at Introverted Visionary. And let's talk about this. The reason this topic has come up is because I was talking to a few chiropractors the other week, and I had asked them, well, what do you usually say to people when what are some of the most frustrating things you hear from potential patients as it when it comes to uh, is it they can't afford it, or what are some things that they say that is really frustrating? And one chiropractor said, well, they tell me that insurance has run out, and so I'm, basically they're not rescheduling the appointment. And I asked, well, what do you actually say to them? So I got a few answers, and some of them were to the extent of saying, I understand, and will come back when basically like when you can. And one very important thing, as I heard that chiropractor say that, I thought to myself, we need to, as chiropractors, as healthcare professionals, we need to hold the space for our patients. To holding the space meaning that if if not you, who will be the ones to tell patients what is really going to be most beneficial for the health, instead of them perhaps coming from a place of not understanding very much. So let's talk a little bit about this. I can talk about how can you actually answer that kind of a concern a patient might have that keeps them from coming back. We'll talk about that first. And then let's talk about what can be done before that point so that people don't end up saying that to you as much anyway. Because chances are, if they're saying that to you at that point in time, there's a part of them that doesn't value the care. So this is what you can actually say to a patient who says, well, my insurance is running out, so I think, I don't think I can come back anymore. You can say, I understand, but it's up to you. Oh, well, not but it's up to you, but you can say, I understand, and it's up to you. We will pay for what we prioritize to be important. We will pay for what we prioritize to be important. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And that's all you need to say. Because and it's interesting because, as I said this to one of the chiropractors. Actually, I was talking to more than one chiropractor, but I was pointing this out to one of the chiropractors who had said that, uh, told me how he typically has responded in the past. He said, you know what, that is true, because I do actually see people tell me that, and then they drive off in their Mercedes, or um, and so, or do have their nails perfectly done and all this, right? So the truth is, we will pay for what we prioritize to be important. And in those moments, if a patient doesn't seem like they're going to move forward with it, just be honest with them about saying something like that, or saying something directly relevant to their health and why you feel like they need the care, and from a place of what you feel like is best for that person's health. And when you come from that place, then you won't need to worry about whether you're being too pushy or anything like that. If you're really looking after the good for your patient. Now, when it comes to what can you say so that and like this right now, if you find this helpful, by the way. So now, if you end up having people say that to you more often than not, it could also be because they don't really haven't valued it up to this point. They don't see why, or maybe they have valued it, but then they don't think they need continued care because they think they're at a pretty good place. Have you ever had people who feel better and they then they drop off because they don't think they need it anymore? But you recognize that people feeling better isn't always the end point of optimal health, and yet their goal may not be optimal health because they didn't even realize that that could what that really means and how that could really be possible. They just came to you because they thought they could get out of pain, or they wanted to get out of pain, and that's that. So part of it is about how you're educating them from when they're starting care to every visit. What are you saying that continues to educate them about how the continued visits will continue to help them? One very simple tip also is, have you ever had people who have come to you for one thing, but they never realized you could help them with other things? Has that ever happened to you before? Go ahead and type in the chat yes if this has happened to you before. And so that can happen. And it's because people don't even put the two and two together. Even if they feel like you're an amazing doctor and have really helped them, they might not even realize you could help them with other things. And so it's helpful to at the beginning of each visit, or if they're coming in twice a week, then you could just do this maybe once a week. Um, have them fill out a very, very short progress form. It just has a couple questions on it. One of them says, what are your top 3 most frustrating health issues right now? So that's one of the questions on there. And then that way, um, they'll get a chance to let you know what's currently most pressing for them, and then you could help them with that or talk about how you're helping them with that. And then at the end of the visit, you could say, this time we worked on this, and next time we're going to work on that. So that way there's always context to what you're doing in future visits, and there's a purpose for it, and people understand it, and they always understand because you're always reminding them, you're always educating them about it. I've gotten asked the question of, well, do I really need to do that because I already asked the patient anyway? Well, have you ever been to a doctor before and you meant to ask your doctor something, but you ended up forgetting completely? It's happened to the best of us. I know it's happened to me before too, and I'm a clinician as well, right? So uh, it can happen to the best of us, including your patients. So by giving them a moment to reflect on their progress, which is why it's a progress form assessment form. It's a very short one. It has just a couple questions, and this is only one of them. Then this can help them have a moment to reflect on where they're at with things, and then you also get to see this too, and the things that you never that you could help them with. It might end up showing up on here, and then you can also look at it and discuss it with the patient. So with that, thank you for being here today on the show. And for more 6 and 7 figure practice makeover tips that you can use in your practice right away, go to introvertedvisionary.com. And if you're at a plateau in your practice and you would like your practice to grow faster, we've helped many chiropractors. We've helped grow from newer in practice to getting their first patients, to also ushering our clients into 7 figures in a 3 to 4 year time frame, the introverted way. So go to introvertedvisionary.com and look forward to helping you grow faster and help more people to wake up the planet. Till next time.